finding out you, oh, tenderness is out the window. What you do to me when the cold bites blue is straight cool. Oh, it has to be you leaving writings on the wall. Promise me roses and a hungry haze, but now there's only madness. Got me feeling dusty. Got me feeling dusty. I can't even whisper and it's hard to see. Don't take my hand and wake me and tell me it's a dream. A dream. The worst kind you've ever dreamed. Don't wanna lay another night here without you. Don't wanna walk another mile. I just can't. Please don't make me do it. I got too much to lose. I've got too much to lose. Too much to lose. Now lay me in the wilderness to dry up bits of your sweet caress. I can't wait no more. Willow trees have died and the last horn lark will fly. Got me feeling dusty. Got me feeling dusty. Please tell me it's a dream. A dream. Worst kind you've ever dreamed. I don't wanna lay another night. Don't wanna walk another mile. I just can't. Oh, please don't make me do it. 'Cause I got too much to lose. I got too much to lose.
All right, here we are.
Yeah.
Interview Friday. I've got Sophia Santi in the waiting room. We are excited. We are having a Friday, and it's so good to see everybody here. It's Interview Friday, of course. Kamala's here as well. Beautiful. These are bamboo behind me. Bunch of bamboo. We're looking up at the bamboo. So today we're really lucky because we have Sophia Santi on the show. She's an actress, and she and I have crossed paths many times in this life, and now we're crossing paths again today. I got the cowboy look going today, so that's kind of cool. Loretta says cowboy. I figured, I put on the cowboy hat and I felt great. And I thought, I'm going to bring that to the show. I was a little bit concerned because our last guest got abducted by aliens. Elizabeth Croydon on Tuesday got abducted by aliens. A lot of people have been messaging me saying, is Elizabeth okay? And I'm here and I'm happy to report that she is fine. She is sending a message. Here she is. Here's a message from Elizabeth.
What's up?
Hi.
I'm here with my friend Mary.
Hi.
And if you're tuning in to Joelmarshall's Lunch Therapy podcast, available on YouTube, you would have heard us discuss climbing El Capitan right before I was abducted by aliens. And I just wanted to say, I ran into someone whose brother climbed El Capitan.
Yeah, shout out to Alan Comstock. He climbed El Capitan, a 5-day climb.
Alan Comstock.
Sleeping on the ledge of
Shout
the
out.
rock when he was 17 years old. Possibly the youngest person to climb El Capitan.
Wow!
And now he's in Antarctica.
Wow!
This guy sounds cool. Maybe he needs to be on the show.
That's the kind of alien technology he's discovering down there.
Alien technology? I don't know. So it looks like Elizabeth's okay. It's weird because she didn't text me or anything. She just sent me this video. We want to hear all about her experiences in, I don't know, outer space or something like that. I guess we're going to hear more about that. Did aliens impregnate you? We don't know. So let's get into the show. We've got Sophia here waiting in the wings here she's with Boney. Let's go. I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 All right, it's good to see some people here today that I haven't seen before on the show. We've got Nikki here. Hi to my sis, amazing, dedicated, and committed to what she does, a wonderful human being, actress. We love you, sis. That's so nice. I love that. Thanks for chiming in. So for people that, hello, Freude. Hello, Chuck. For those of you that don't know, you make comments on YouTube or on Facebook or on Twitch if you happen to be there, and I can put them on the screen. So if you have any questions for Sophia or anything that you want to join in on the conversation, please do. So in through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. We take 3 deep breaths at the top of the show. Let it go. Helps us calm down, helps us relax. It's really just, it's for me, okay? It's for me. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. I see that Jeff Lohman is here. Hoi, all the way from Thailand, checking in with us. Let it go. I'm feeling better already. Hopefully Sophia in the green room is also breathing in through the nose, out through the toes. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. I hear her breathing. I see Jose Salas is here. Hats up, everybody. Hats up. All the way from sunny Los Angeles. Yeah. Coming at you from sunny Los Angeles. Behind me, though, is a golden temple from India. Just thought it might help you get into the mood of relaxation and breathing, and it helped me. So let's get into this interview. This is a live interview today. Live. Right in front of your eyes we're having. So, anything could happen, anything could go wrong, anything could go right. But I want to tell you about Sophia. Hi, Sue Pascal, Sweeney. Yeah. All right. I'm just saying hi to people in the chat room. That's the thing about this show. It's a little different because it's interactive. It's an interactive show. Okay. Sophia Santi. Who is she? She is an inspiring person. She's an actor in Hollywood. She has been for over 20 years. She has a ton of television credits and film credits, and she also does voiceover. She's proficient in both English and Spanish, so she's played all kinds of characters. I guess her strengths are like matriarchal characters or women who are suffering, and she also has a hilarious sense of humor. I think she should do stand-up. I think that's what she should do. She's originally from, there she's laughing, originally from Mexico City. Sophia lived in New York and Boston, and she learned English in Boston. She studied at the School of Fine Arts in Mexico City. She studied with some of the best acting teachers in LA, Ivana Chubbuck, Michael Monks, Milton Katselas, Keith David, Jeffrey Tambor. That's probably why we've crossed paths a lot, because we've had some of the same acting teachers. Her most recent win for acting, she won an award for the Best Actress at the Pennsylvania Film Festival for portraying Josefa, the incredible in the
Josefa.
short. Wait, how do you say it?
Josefa.
Josefa in Sincilio, and we're gonna play that. You can tell my Spanish is terrible. Sophia just finished recurring on a major show on Netflix. She has worked with Michael Mann on Black Hat, Chris Hemsworth, Adam Arkin, and her mother was a classical pianist. So there you go.
Yes,
She is.
She is.
This is good
Yeah, she's present
having you
here.
in the green room. I appreciate it. I need the coaching, I think. Let's get into this thing. Since Sophia's here, obviously, it's live Interview Friday. All right, there you are, Sophia Santi. After the perhaps the worst introduction ever on any show, you are here, and I'm so glad you're here because I need the help. I clearly need the help. How are you?
Do you see me?
I see you. Do you see
Good.
me?
Do you see me?
Yeah,
Okay. I only see you. I don't see me. That's a good thing.
that is probably a good thing.
I see. Yes. I don't want to see myself.
Well, it's
Yeah, I don't see that.
I
I only
say
see
it's a
you,
good
but-
thing because, you know, when you're talking from where you are, sometimes
There
it
it
looks
is.
like you're delayed. Yeah. You see us? All right.
Right there. Yeah, I see you.
Nice to see
Great.
you.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You too.
All right.
Great.
So
It's
Sophia,
Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday.
it's Friday. We got to shake it off. We're getting ready for the weekend.
Shake it up, baby.
Shake off the week.
Claro.
Yeah.
Woo. Of
So,
course.
so Sophia, start us off because the thing that's intriguing me right now is that you're from Mexico City and your mother is a classical or a concert pianist. Tell me about that.
Yes. Well, bottom line, I'm from Mexico City. I grew up in the arts. My mom is a very well-known, famous classical pianist, Teresita Delgado, and my sister, Nick Teja Delgado, is also a pianist. So that gave me the ability to really have deep appreciation for the art of acting. I grew up with music, classical music, so that really helped me as an actor later on. And I studied at the School of Fine Arts, and when I was in Mexico City, we always were inspired, and we were like, of course, when you go to school there, you have to learn a second language, and one of the languages that I had to learn was English, no matter what, and then French. So I speak English and French, and later on, moving forward, that's how I got inspired because everything in my work, I apply music. That's it.
You do. You apply music to your acting.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Is that like?
Yes, I
Yeah, go
hear,
ahead.
I don't know, I just hear, well, for me, first of all, acting is a blessing from God. And I think it's either you love it or you don't. And it's in your DNA, it's in your blood. But most important is when I see a scene, I always hear music. There's always a song behind the scene. I know it's kind of weird, but I grew up with that. So if I
That's
can
weird.
hear the tune if I hear the tune of the scene, then I can be the scene, and then I can create more from that space.
I get it. I totally get it. You know,
Yeah.
Sam Shepard, the great playwright, would write, and he said that he would write to a jazz tempo. Some of the dialogue would be
Really?
to a jazz tempo. So it's not like totally out there at all. I mean, I think there is a musicality to the way we speak. Maybe not so much standard American English, because a lot of times there isn't like a musicality as much as there is something like Italian or Spanish. But I definitely think there's a
Right.
rhythm, you know? And
Yes, there is. Yes, there's a rhythm.
Do you feel like that's a conscious thing, or do you think that's sort of a subconscious thing when you're acting?
Um, I don't, being, you go to school and you train, but at the end of the day, you're going to do what's best for you. But I always, in all my scenes, even when I was at the Beverly Hills Playhouse, when I'm doing plays, I always somehow, because I watched a lot of Italian movies, and then I always see and in Mexico, they have all these soap operas, they have all this music. So,
Yeah.
so if it's a dramatic scene, in classical, I would go into like, I know it sounds weird, but I go into like a Tchaikovsky or Bach or Beethoven, or if it's really fun, I would switch it around. It just, in my mind, it's just conscious. I mean, it just comes to me automatically. I can't explain how that
When you were in acting class,
works. I just lost you.
yeah,
Oh,
it's okay.
yes.
When you were in acting class in Mexico City, when you took acting there, how different was it from the United States? Like the technique?
Well, it's different. The techniques are different there, and it was not so much acting class, but I took music. I was in the conservatory of music, and I
Oh,
learned
so
how
music.
to, you know, I learned how to play the piano, music, and so there's some acting class. But really, at that time, I was going to be a pianist, but then I didn't want to do it because I didn't like to read music. But I learned the discipline of reading music, listening, and then really understanding what this composer or what this writer is writing about.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a little more respect for the arts there. When you take acting class there, I did take some acting class, but it's a different interpretation. It's a little more, very much a lot of respect for the theater, a lot of respect for the artists. And remember, in Mexico City, I grew up with poets, pianists, classical, La Colonia Condesa, La Colonia Roma. That's that's where I grew up. And that colonia is like a neighborhood where we grew up with a lot of poets, a lot of pianists, a lot of actresses, and a lot of people, theater people. So you learn discipline, and
Yeah.
you learn a lot more respect. They take things very seriously there. Here it's different. You have more freedom here, but it's a different. I think it's harder training there. I don't know why,
And did you come here straight to
but I loved it.
Boston? Did you come to Boston from Mexico City?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was in Mexico City, and then from there, my mom said I could be an exchange student. I really want to go to New York. I want to go to New York. I want to go to the big city. And my parents said no. My mom said no. You're going to go to Boston, where real Americans, 13 colonies, all that stuff.
Really?
If you go, yeah. She just wanted to me. For me, my parents always have one. My mom always wanted me to have the best education. If you're going to learn English, you're going to go up north because that was apparently her the best English. New England, New Hampshire, Connecticut, New York, and I really am thankful for that because of that I can actually speak English, and that's helped me a lot as an actor. Because I can speak both fluently and I don't have the accent. So everybody thinks maybe I'm from New York. They
Yeah.
could think I'm from Connecticut. They don't know where I'm from. So yeah, I'm grateful for that education. That was really, I was an exchange student for first in Milford, New Hampshire,
Mhm.
and then in Boston. And then it was just like a new thing for me. But I love the fact that I was able to live the American dream and live with American people and understand the culture,
Wow.
the culture, how real hardworking American people live. And so I was one of the 7 kids coming from a 2 people family. There's only my sister and I. So
Yeah.
that was a big change for me. So that was amazing.
How was it? Was it hard to acclimate to the United States, or was there any kind of a preconception about you when you came that you had to deal with?
I never, I always been very welcomed. I was always very welcomed as an exchange student. My family, Mr. and Mrs. Bragdon, were really hardworking Americans. Mr. Bragdon was a miner, and he worked at 4 o'clock in the morning, and Mrs. Bragdon was a stay-at-home mom. So I didn't really feel any pressure. They just welcomed me into the family, and I just blended in. I never felt any prejudice. I was like anyone. I just became one of the sisters. We went to church together. They took me to school together, and she babysitted for a lot of kids in the afternoon, and I was able to help her. And all the kids, we all have different chores, right? So uh, I was able to watch. I know, but believe it or not, I watch cartoons with those kids, and so I was able to learn English faster in the afternoons. And so that I know sounds silly, but I was able to learn cartoons, and that's how I got really good with my English. Got better actually. So nothing
Yeah,
to complain. Now I never felt anything but love. You
that's
know,
nice. Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah.
I
People always
wasn't
say
like
that. It's a
excluded
good way
like
to.
she's the Mexican girl. I was,
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. So did you stay in the United
yeah.
States then after that? And then did you ever go to New York or did you come straight to Los Angeles or what happened?
Yeah, then from there, I went to visit my aunt. She lived in Long Island, New York, and we stayed there for like 6 months, and it was really cold. And then that ended, and then I ended up going back. So it was 2 years as an exchange student, and then I ended up going back to Mexico City because my mom was freaking out because I was learning English, but I was forgetting my Spanish.
Uh-huh.
So like, we got to get you back. So I went back to Mexico City,
Yeah.
and that's where I finished my high school. Then I studied at the School of Tourism because I was going to be a lawyer, and I ended up not being a lawyer. I ended up being in the travel industry, and I ended up graduating with a major in languages in tourism. So I was really lucky that I was able to go back because I love my country. And Mexico
Yeah.
City is beautiful. There's so many things full of culture. So yeah, I wanted to go back. So they sent me back.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't forget your heritage, and that's it. That's the rest is history. I ended up coming back again,
Yeah.
and then I got married in Dallas, and that's a different story. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's my story on that.
Wow. So when did you come to LA?
I came to LA in 1993. I
Hmm.
was married in Dallas for,
Hmm.
uh, and then it didn't work out. So a great guy, and I was
Yeah.
really young. So I told John, my ex-husband, that I wanted to become an actress.
Yeah.
And I took some acting classes, believe it or not, with Adam Rourke and Lou Diamond Phillips. They came from the Actors Lab in
Mm.
Texas. So a
Mm.
bunch of us came to LA, and we in 1993 we ended up staying in a little ginky apartment. A bunch of us, like 20 of us, in Studio City, and we ended up renting a room. And a bunch of us just stayed there, and we just started making our own way, uh, and uh, and that's how it started for me. And then little one thing after the other, uh, you know, you meet people, you start making all these things happen.
Hmm.
I always been very good at making friends,
Yeah.
and I'm always been very good at asking for help. And I
Hmm.
think that's been my very, very blessing, from that I've always been able to. Uh, always been a go getter, very
You
ambitious,
are a
very.
go-getter. You
A lot
are.
of people don't like it.
No, you really are. You're one of the people that I know that it's just a hustler. You know what I mean? Like not in a bad, not like you're hustling
Yes,
people, but you're somebody that like works really hard at the business side of acting. What if somebody was just starting out as an actor and they were trying to get into the acting business? What would you recommend to them?
I would first of all, if you're new in LA, welcome. Or anywhere. I think the most important thing when you become an actor, when you get to LA, if you're new and you know anyone, I would say is try to join an acting group, an acting class where you can create a circle of friends, positive people who want you to win, who are supportive, and then start making friends little by little, and start really creating a network of people who are in your business who who can help you go into this, get an apartment to live, getting jobs. Asking for help is a big thing. Don't be
Mhm.
afraid to ask, but ask the right people,
Mm.
and get in an acting group and get trained because it's really really important. And hang around with really really. My only advice to people is live your dream. Come with a dream, write it down, and don't let anybody get in your dream. Just do it.
You know, one of the things that you
Just do it.
said that I think is really important is you said, ask for help. Anybody that I've had on the
Yes.
show, they have a moment where they had to ask somebody for some help. and they didn't feel comfortable about it. And I was even watching an interview with Ray Liotta the other day where he was saying that at some point he was in an acting class. He'd been in for like 5 years, and Melanie Griffith was doing this movie called Something Wild, and somebody said to him, "You should ask her if she can get you an audition because there's a good part in it for you." And he was like, "Oh, I don't know if I should do that." And then
Right.
he finally called, and he ended up getting the part. And there would be no Goodfellas. There would be, probably no Goodfellas if it wasn't for him picking up the phone and asking for a favor, which is really
Wow.
hard to do.
Wow.
It's really hard to do. I mean, it's not easy. Nobody
It's not. It's not.
nobody does that easily. How do you do that? How do you navigate this whole thing and get over those kind of obstacles where, you might be like, oh, I can't do that.
Well, I understand. It is really hard for people sometimes, and some people really. I have friends of mine who they don't want to ask for help. They just don't want to do it. And so I coach. When I coach people sometimes, and I said to them, and even friends of mine, one of the things that I learned when I was at the Beverly Hills Playhouse, I studied with Milton, and he has a book called Dreams into Action, and one of the things that in those chapters is. You can either be right or you can be effective, or or you can be proud or be effective. And one of the things that I learned about that is that there's nothing wrong with you asking for help because you're humble. You're vulnerable to this business, and you're not gonna lose anything if you're gonna ask for help. Because like that story you just told me, everything that I gotten in my life is because I asked for help. I'm really blessed that way. I've always been blessed. I've never been afraid to ask, even when people shut the door on me and they said I was crazy and people didn't want to help me. I found a possibility to navigate and to and find a way. If you didn't help me, I just find out who the casting director for the show is. I sent my little postcard. I wrote letters. Milton taught me about writing letters and of people that you admire, Jeffrey Tambor. If you can't get through somebody, you can also write a letter of admiration and they will get the letter. And now with the internet, the possibilities are endless for us actors. I mean, there's so much you can create and relationships with Instagram, with Facebook. I'm new at Instagram. I mean, I didn't know how much possibilities. I think you should ask for help. You cannot always ask for help from everyone because some people don't like to just help. But make sure when you ask for help, ask the right person and ask something that is really valuable, that's attainable for that person to be able to help you as well.
That's really good advice. I'm gonna show a clip because that is. I'm just gonna put a button on this by showing a clip. I'm going to show, what do you think? Criminal Minds, Shameless. There's that one from Shot.
Criminal Minds.
Okay, let's do Criminal Minds.
Thank you for allowing me to assist you, Examiner Granado.
I should thank you. We're so understaffed and overworked. I can use an extra pair of hands. After all these years, it's still not easy to see the dead.
Especially this young. So much life ahead of him. Well, the cut is clean. It's not jagged, so the blade wouldn't be serrated.
But the COD is an exsanguination due to the cutting of the carotid. It was a quick death.
I like the way you bleed an animal.
What kind of blade do we think did this?
The path of the wound tapers off as if it's curved.
Like what?
As a kid, I would spend my spring breaks at my grandparents' house, and they had a garden. And so I was always there to help plant, and my job was to cut all of the weeds. So my grandpa would give me this.
Sickle?
See. Can you hand me the tweezers?
All right. Yeah, I should have applause. There we go. So these kind of shows, a lot of times when you're acting and you've got a career, that's going on. You're going to get these parts where you're playing like a medical professional, or you're playing like a judge or something, a professional person. What are the tips that you would give people, when they go into audition for something like this, like a medical examiner? Like, how can they make it like really real?
That's a really good question. Well, because I also, when you're an actor, you have different jobs that you do. I'm also a translator, an interpreter, and I'm proud of that because when you're doing translations, sometimes you're working with lawyers and medical people. And I always like learning. I always like to learn, and I want to be the one that doesn't know. So if I'm going to go for a part, I do my research. And how does a medical examiner do? What language do we get into? And that's your job as an actor to find out, to do the research. It's not the same as being a lawyer, right? So I went to downtown LA, and I went to, it's kind of crazy. I went to, because I have friends that work in LA in the forensics. They examine dead bodies. So, and I wanted to do a little research just for myself. I know it's kind of crazy. Yeah. So I had to get permission and all that stuff. And but these are real people. They do this every day. So, and there's a different language, and they're not scared. They do this every day. And there's they use this medical terms. And for me, that was really important to know. So, because when I went to the audition, I really think I wasn't going to get it. I really think I wasn't going to get it because the director was really tough. And he said, if you don't get this right, you're not going to get this job. The words have to be correct. And I did it. And I was proud of it. And I actually told the costume designer to make me look older, heavier, because I didn't want to look pretty, right? And I want to make sure that I was heard. And so, and that's, I think as an actor, it is your responsibility to do the research of what a policeman does, a detective does, a medical examiner, go to a hospital. Acting for me is observing other people, watching behavior, watching what people do for a living. Just take the time to really do the research. And it's never about you, it's about them. They wrote the show, and it's not about you, it's about what is written in the page, and they just wanted to deliver the communication that the writer wrote.
You made a really good point.
It is about you.
You made a really good point about being the character and letting your kind of vanity go, because a lot of times...
Absolutely.
A lot of times that's the most difficult thing, or one of the most difficult things, is just kind of let go of your own ego in the thing and try and serve the story. Like today, you let go of your vanity because I made you put those headphones on.
Yes, I did. I want to show my hair. Wait a minute.
Like, women hate to wear the big headphones, and probably men too.
We're wearing it.
Women tend to have more hair, So I appreciate that because sometimes it's just difficult. But to ask for them to play you in a way that's maybe not the most flattering way, sometimes is the hardest thing to do, and it's that's why. But acting is not about you looking good. It's about you serving the story.
Right. For me, it's really. I'm all about the character. Some actors don't want to hear that, but I'm all about what does my character need? How can I get into the spirit of the character? And what am I here to do on this particular set? Like the show I just finished, it was really amazing because I learned that in just listening and being there and just bringing in that energy to that space, in doing nothing, I know it sounds weird, in doing nothing, you have everything. And just listening to the writer, the creator of the show was amazing. I'm not going to say, I can't talk about it right now, but really what this guy is about, or these people are about, is about story. And very unpredictable. And at the end of the day, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do what they wrote, and they want this piece delivered like every other show. And our job, I think, is to serve the story and get your ego out of the way, the vanity. I know if you have an opinion, it's great, but there's a way to communicate. I'm not saying you don't have a point of view. The actor has a point of view, but you have to match that energy, between them. That's all I'm going to say. That's it.
Do you think that, if you had an acting technique, what do you think the acting technique is? Is it, you studied at the Beverly Hills Playhouse. You study at Ivana Chubbuck. Do you have a particular technique, or is it something that you've taken from many different areas and you rely on, what works for you?
I really am proud of my training, but at the end of the day, for me, it's between me and God. I pray. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm a very spiritual person. I pray and I said, God, please give me the spirit of this character, and I get right into it. I don't have a technique. I don't have. I just I know listening to what other actors is listening to what other people are saying is because at the end of the day, when you're doing a scene with another actor, you have to provide a space for that actor to be and listen to what the other person. It's really about listening. And when you are by yourself, it's a very intimate moment. It's you and the camera, because it's really just you and the camera and the other actor. And it's that, and forget about everything else. It's just if you can get into that space of it's sacred, it's holy, it's you in that space, and that's it. I don't have a technique. For me, I'm a very instinctual actor. I go with what's in front of me, and I try to match that energy with the other actor, and just blending in, it becomes really awesome, I believe. And again, for me, it's about what is this character about, and that's what I bring to the table.
Well, it's very effective, and in the
Yeah.
this movie Sincilio,
Thank you.
you won an award for your acting, and I'm going to play a clip from this because I think it gives you an idea of what you're capable of doing. So this is
Yeah.
a clip from the movie.
Siempre tengo que estar limpiando la basura. Pues llévalo ya para que estudie. Ponte a hacer tu tarea, ¿eh? Cuidado porque están por todos lados.
Sí, todo el día los ha visto.
Sí, mejor métete a la casa y no estés aquí en la calle con él. Llévate al niño.
Sí, ok. Me voy a llevar a Funky. Adiós, señora. Gracias.
No salgan a la calle.
Ok.
Especialmente hoy.
¿Dónde está Delia? ¿Dónde está Delia, mi nieta? No la encuentro. ¿Dónde está Delia? ¿Dónde está mi nieta? ¿Qué hicieron con ella? ¿Qué hiciste con ella, mantito? Quítate.
¿Qué pasa?
No llega mi
Nada va a pasar.
Ya,
Está loca, señora. Yo no hice nada.
¡Ey, muchacha! ¡Muévase! ¡Médese ahorita! ¿Qué le pasa? ¡Se mueve! ¡Ey! ¡Ese
Tampoco, no sé.
¿Qué pasó?
No contesta, no sé.
Vamos, dile que se entre.
¿Qué me pasa?
¿Qué está pasando aquí?
¿Qué me pasa?
Señora,
de aquí! ¡No me toques!
Señora, ¿qué está pasando? A ver.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
heavy duty. I screwed up the clip, and it
Heavy duty.
still hit me emotionally. Yeah. So you were saying that the moment that you think actually got you the award was that moment where you're sitting there still.
I really do, because even on Criminal Minds, the ones, I don't know if you have it there, but this woman that I played I had to age myself, and I made myself look fat on purpose because I wasn't going to get the role. They had other actresses in mind, but I did it because it's about the women of Juarez, and I really like the writer, the creator. This was her thesis. We got us to the Oscar shorts either way, but the the character somehow, when your granddaughter gets kidnapped and you know she was raped and you're never going to see her again, there is no hope for that. There's that was the end. And I don't think that got me. The action scenes were not, maybe, but I think that at the last scene, I'm not doing anything and resigned to what's next in your life. There's no way. There's a place in Juarez that people get raped all the time. They get murdered, and they have no possibility to move on with their lives. And I think that scene is the one that got me in. I'm absolutely clear. Did in doing nothing.
Yeah.
That was her whole life. Her granddaughter was her whole life, and that was a loss. And that's that space. That's what I think. That's what. Yeah. Answer to your question. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think it's a very brave thing
They
to
got me
do
that.
too on film, is to, like you say, do nothing. But obviously there's a lot going on, underneath. You know what I mean? There's a lot going on with her. But
Oh yeah.
it's almost like a shock. But again, also a serene, like you can do nothing kind of thing. I'm going to contrast this with another thing that I think is really interesting. The way you portray somebody who is like in a day-to-day situation. And this is from that show Shot. And you're playing an insurance person or somebody that comes into the hospital. And I just really appreciate the way you play this character because it just seems so, I guess real. It just seems real. You know what I mean? Like it seems like a real situation.
Yeah, she's a hospital administrator. She's a hospital administrator. Yeah. She's. Yeah.
It's not a good time to talk about insurance.
Oh my God, woman, does it look like a good time? Go talk to his wife.
She just left.
She left?
We're about to do x-rays. You want to stand around and get zapped? Okay, by me.
If you don't mind working for free.
Where does she go?
Who is your insurance provider?
Edna.
I'm sure she'll be back. Us ladies like to stick by you when things get rough.
You really believe that?
All right, everybody needs to clear out.
Yeah.
She's so mean.
She's so mean, but I think the ability to really drop into like a person like that is something that also can, really you can make a whole career doing something like that, and it's not as easy as it looks. You know what I mean?
No.
'Cause it looks real. It looks like that's your actual job and you do that every day. And I love that.
I do that every day.
How have things changed for you over your career as far as the roles that you get?
Well, then I don't know if you have the clip from CSI, but anyway, the answer to your question is when I started in LA, I was doing a lot of like very Hispanic characters, the maids, the prostitutes. Now and then it went up to and then I lost weight, and then I started keep studying, and then my casting is changing as I get older. Now I'm going into the medical examiners, the doctors, the lawyers, but I'm in the dramatic area. I've always been my money maker, my success has always been drama. I'm very good at that because I'm not afraid. And then I'm reading for upscale roles now, of course, and people are now open. Casting directors, producers are open, and I think casting people are really good now. They're opening the doors for us. I hate to use the word Latino, but they are using now. It's even more possible for us to play highly educated people, and that's really a great thing that's happening right now. It's changing for me, and I'm really grateful because I'm able to cross over. I'm crossing over, and all of this because of my work, because I'm changing, and they're seeing the weight loss, they're seeing the new Sophia, and I'm also writing, and I think it's a responsibility. I encourage all of you guys to write, like you're doing the show, to produce, to create your own content, because if they don't see it, they can't bring you in. So I'm starting to bring that to the table. It is changing for me, and it's changing in a very good way. I'm very, very grateful because I speak English, because I trained, because I do announcing. I'm also an announcer, a voiceover actress in Spanish. En español hablo perfectamente bien español. Entonces, I have a lot of actor friends who have also trained me. and they help you out in that world. And when you do voiceover, you learn how to really, I hate to say it, enunciate, pronounce. I have a lot of respect for people who do a lot of voice work because they are the real deal. They really get into the diction and the rhythm of the words. And I have a lot more respect. In the pandemic, I learned how to be a director, be a producer, be an editor, have your own voiceover studio. And all you did is rehearse, right? During the pandemic, I did a lot of reading. So that really created that more to be aware of where do you want to be as an actor, what is it you wanted to communicate. And I'm starting to see that I can be, you know, strong and I can be a DA, a lawyer, detective, but I have a sardonic, dry sense of humor. I'm looking at a comedy and not, it's something that I'm looking at it. That's
Yeah,
all
well, I
I'm
think you
doing.
should do a lot of comedy. You were in the show Shameless. I'm going to show that clip here.
Yeah, yeah,
Shameless.
Programa de televisión y se detiene un pie enfrente de mi cara.
Ay, de mí, qué espantoso, señorita.
Fue horrible. Me pude haber muerto. Ese hombre es un diablo.
I'm going to jail for the rest of my life.
Gracias. You may be seated. Mr.
I love that too. The thing is, you look different in every clip. You look like a different person. Like it's like sometimes I'm like, which one is her? Because you do kind of transform yourself, even in these like small parts. You know what I mean? I don't know how big that part was, but I only see like a second of it. But yeah, you like transform yourself. What a range! Is exactly true. And I think you should be doing a lot of comedy because you're hilarious.
Yeah, range. Yeah.
Yeah. Drama 101.
Oh, thank you. I'm not into it, but I love to. I'm writing some of it. And I think that also there's no. I mean, that was a guest star. Those are really. There's no small parts. Anything that you do, because you're part of the storyline. I only feel that there's only small actors who feel that everything gets you to the next level. Like it's a growth. So you can never invalidate anything that you do at all because even when you don't think people are watching, they are watching you. They're watching you.
People in the chat room are remarking on who the other actors were in that scene as well. Bertila Damas and Alan Rosenberg, who was the...
Yeah, Bertila.
And Alan Rosenberg was like the president of SAG, Screen Actors
Yeah,
Guild.
he's a great guy. Great to work with. And Bertila's a fellow actress and Puerto Rican actress. And but Alan was... All those actors that you see there were really, really great to work with because they have a lot of dialogue. Man, it's just like, wow. I don't know. It's a lot.
That show, Shameless, was that fun to work on, that show?
I love the casting director. John Levy cast me on it. He's cast me 3 times in my lifetime. The cast, just a really a pleasure to work with those people. We worked hard that day. I mean, they really are. That really? Shameless is they work hard. Those guys have a lot of dialogue, and my only respects for them. They're just beautiful people. Everybody is just really nice.
Wow. So tell me something. What you had a dog that recently passed away? Was that like a year ago or so? You're like a dog person. I wanted to find out something about your work with dogs. I'm sorry to bring up the thing about your dog, but it's something we all go through.
Yeah. Her name was Bella. I had Bella for 10 years. She died about exactly 3 years ago. She was my little angel, and I absolutely love animals. I always had dogs, even when I was little, and my mom didn't really love that, but Bella was with me. She was a very important part of my life because she got me to be a better actor. She got me to really humble myself, and with animals, again, it's never about you, right? It's about them. And it's an unconditional love that you can't really always receive from other human beings. Because they don't have an agenda. They don't. They love you. I do rescue animals. I love animals. I am very much a human rights activist. I defend people's human rights. I hate injustice, especially when it comes to animals. I don't like it. So if I see an animal on the street, I will probably... If I see something wrong, I'll do something about it. That's not the right thing to say, but I'm not the right person. If I see something or somebody mistreating an animal, I probably will do something about it and take it to a shelter or find a way to find a better home. They just deserve. They're animals. They're spiritual beings. They're your angels. They are there for you, and they really make you a better human being. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I'm going to cheer you up a little bit. I've got some video from one of our viewers of his new dog, Walter.
Oh,
there's Walter. Walter is part of a family of 3 dogs now. You can see there's Todd Lee and his 3 dogs, and Walter is just fitting right in. I've got another shot of him sleeping. This is Walter sleeping.
Qué lindo.
Getting some nice comments from people too. All right. Yeah, so there he's sleeping. You can hear him sleeping. It's hilarious.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great.
All right. I wanted to kind of end it on a better note because I had mentioned your dog, and I thought, oh, my God, I got to have some good happy dog stuff. Thanks, Sophia, for being on the show. We have to wrap it up now. You say you're writing.
Thank you.
Say there's something coming up, something big coming up for you. Going to be on Netflix. So everybody watch for Sophia. She's got some really great stuff happening, and she's writing as well. Are you going to do stand-up too?
I'm working on it. I'm writing on it, and I am. What did you say, Charles?
Charles
I can agree.
He said
I can agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's like they chat and it's like a little later, so we're confused.
Yeah,
humans can't be that human.
He is pure.
The dog was purring.
Yeah,
I think the dog was purring.
Pues muchas gracias por invitarme en tu show. Te lo agradezco muchísimo. A todos los actores que están aquí. Hernán de Becky, muchas gracias. Mi hermana, mi mamá, todos mis amigos. I really appreciate everybody who's been here. And thank you, Joel. You're an amazing human being. I know you from class. And just nothing but the best for you. And also, you're very, very generous. Just an incredible human being. That's all I have to say about you. Thank you for inviting me.
I want to thank you, Sophia, because you're one of those people. You are the person that has done things for me without me asking, because I'm not very good at asking. And I'm going to learn from you on how to be a more effective asker, because people don't know what you want if you don't say, hey, this is something I need. But you have provided me with, like, I have an agent in Chicago, Susan Sherman, who's fantastic. And you introduced me to her. And it was because you were like, Joel, you got to be getting out there. I'm going to call my agent. And, and I really appreciate that. It's like a really great sign and rare. It's rare to have somebody that kind of is, sees you and does things for you. And yeah, so I just want to say thank you for that. And also,
that's so sweet of you.
I'm looking forward to what you're going to be doing in the future as well, because I think it's.
You too. I'm excited for your show, and I know you're going to do great. And remember, everyone, the greatest ability is to help another human being. It doesn't take anything away from you, but only blessings come your way.
That's right. All right. So
yes, thank you.
So I will
have a good weekend.
Sophia.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Howard Rowan says positive vibes flowing. All right. See you soon.
Bye.
So there you go. Sophia Santi with headphones on, because I forced her to, unfortunately. But yeah, it's so great to have somebody on the show with that kind of energy and that kind of positive vibe. So I'm glad to have her on the show anytime. She can come anytime she wants. Sven de Kock, you had said something about being an exchange student. Sven was the exchange student at our high school. He lives in Belgium, and he loves to see an exchange student making it in the States. Yeah. Super cool. All right, thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to dance us out with a dance break. It's coming. This is Fernando. You fret. He's playing the safety dance, one of my favorite songs from back in the day.
We can dance if we want to, we can leave your friends behind. Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, and then no friends of mine. I say, we can go where we want to, a place where they will never find. We can act like we come from out of this world, even we won't far behind.
Have a great weekend.
We can dance, we can sing.
Fernando has a YouTube channel where he does covers, original songs.
We can go where we want to, the night is young and so am I. We can dress real neat from our hands to our feet and surprise them with a victory cry. I say, we can act if we want to, if we don't, nobody will.
Thanks everybody for being
here. You can
here.
act real rude and totally removed. I can act like an imbecile. I say,
the show is every Tuesday and Friday.
We can dance, everything is out of control. We can dance, doing it from pole to pole. We can dance, everybody look at your hands. We can dance, everybody's taking the chance.
Yeah, he's got a great voice too.
It's safe to dance, oh well, it's safe to dance.
Thanks Nikki for
It's
being
safe
here.
to dance.
Howard.
We can dance if we want to, with all your life and mine. As long as we
subscribe if you
never
can.
gonna lose it, everything will work out
It's
fine.
over there, there's a little
I say,
bird.
We can dance if we want to.
If you're on,
we can leave
YouTube.
your friends behind.
Really
'Cause
helps.
your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, then no friends of mine. I say, we can dance, everything is out of control. We can dance, we're doing it from pole to pole. We can dance, everybody
All right,
look at
we'll
your
see you next
hands.
Tuesday
We can
for
dance,
more lunch therapy.
we can dance.